Greetings. You know, it seems like there are a lot of celebrities who seem to find ways to put their foot in their mouths, even people who we think are the good guys. Earlier this year, we had Matt Damon basically telling some women that there were different degrees of sexual assault, and then he had to walk it back away. It was really a stupid thing to say. I know what he was trying to say, but it was stupid what he was saying. It wasn't even true. There's just no excuse, no matter what level of sexual harassment or sexual assault. There's no difference in degrees. If you do it, it's a bad thing. There's just nothing you can say about it. Then this week we had Jason Bateman, another guy who is normally seen as a good guy, who was having an interview with a lot of other people from a show that he does called Arrested Development, who decided to kind of talk over Jessica Walter, who has been an actress probably longer than he's been alive. Actually, I don't know how old he is, but maybe around the same length of time. Basically, I guess Jeffrey Tambor, who's right now being accused of something he says he didn't do, but we're not going to go in that direction. I guess he lost his mind and he screamed at her and he really lost his temper on the set with other people around. And she talked about this and said how he apologized to her and how she'd forgiven him and tried to move on. And Jason Bateman decides to get into it and says, well, but it's not that bad. It happens all the time in this industry. People just need to let it go and whatever. And he kind of talked over her. And the other two men who were there kind of did the same thing. And it took the other woman to basically stand up for her and say, no, that's never good. And then Jason Bateman did apologize after a couple of days when he got beaten up by the press and by the people of Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. And he apologized and said he had no right, he was wrong, he understood. He said he wasn't trying to accept the behavior that Jeffrey Tambor did, and that his words were wrong. A lot of celebrities seem to say that these days, and that he was sorry and he apologized, and he didn't mean to demean her pain. And I got to tell you the truth. I've never been one of those people who has understood why someone who is either an equal or in a position of power or think they are believe they have the right to yell at someone. I'm going to tell you the truth. It never ends well. It doesn't end well in sports. You don't see that happening as much anymore. If you have a coach who's yelling at someone, even if they've won a championship, a lot of times that coach is going to be gone because the players cost a lot more money. The players are the talent. Nobody goes to see see a coach at play basketball or coach basketball. You're there for the players. Well, the same thing is starting to happen in business. We beat up on millennials all the time. A lot of people do. I actually don't because, I don't have any employees. It's just me. But a lot of people beat up on millennials saying that they've been given a lot of stuff and they've been mommy coddled and they can't take it. Well, truth be told, there's a level of can't take it that they shouldn't have to. I've never believed in the thing about yelling at anyone. You just don't do it if you're in a leadership position. Doesn't mean that every once in a while you might not lose your temper. Heck, I lost my temper a couple of times, but I didn't ever yell at anybody. Now, when I lose my temper, my language gets really good. I don't cuss, so therefore I start using a lot of big words, and I speak really slowly, and I stare, and that kind of gets the point across. I don't yell at anybody, at least people I'm working with. Don't do it. Matter of fact, I don't yell when I call someone on the phone to gripe about something. I don't yell at those people. It's just never been in my nature. I used to yell at sports when I was a kid, and I had to get out of that because you know what? I was going to get beat up, or I was going to beat someone up, or I was going to be fighting a lot, and that is not a good way to go. I don't know how many of you believe that as a leader you have the right. I don't know how many of you are not leaders who say, well, yeah, they can yell at me because they're the person in charge. No, they can't. Now, here's my thing. If you go to HR and you don't get any satisfaction, you got to think about leaving. You just must. If you could get other people together and you go as kind of a block, that might help. But I found that when one person, even though you have a lot of people talking about it, if one person puts something out there, everyone else shuts up and leave you hanging. So you have to think about that. If you are the leader who's screaming at people, you need to knock it off because you're going to get yours in the end. And if you're an employee and you've got someone who's yelling, you need to try to take some action if you really like that job, or you need to think about leaving. And I'm just one of those people who thinks that you get a lot more done when you can try to keep the peace, when you can find an open way to communicate in a better way so that no one feels really bad. Some people are going to feel bad when you talk nice to them as well, but that's still better than yelling at them. That's my point. My name is Mitch Mitchell. Let me know what you think of this. Y'all, you have a wonderful week.